Hello and welcome to Smiling Souls with Stephanie and Wendy T. What's going on today?
Woo! Lots of stuff. Lots of stuff. Should I start with the hawk or the angels?
Ooh, let's go angels first.
Okay. So, first thing this morning, I'm one of those people that looks at her email and I got a note from the universe. Okay. And I have to have a drink because interesting. That tells me that I'm not saying something or I'm holding something back, whatever. Okay. Note from the universe. Have you heard about the bewitching hour? Actually, it's top secret, so I'll whisper. Every single morning, ever since time began, before the sun even rises, the drums start beating, the choirs start singing, the energy starts rising, and every single soul who has ever lived scurries around the plane of manifestation as a chanting begins and gets louder and louder and goes faster and faster until a feverish pitch is reached and the skies part with a clap of thunder, revealing billions upon billions of the most beautiful angels you have ever seen. Flying down from the heavens, some with wings outstretched, others with wings pointed back, darting, diving, banking, and rolling, some so fast they're only a blur, while others seem to float by as if catching what remains of a midsummer night's breeze. Every one of them a reflection of the greatest, the loveliest, and the highest I've ever imagined. Every one of them a messenger of hope and peace and joy. Healers and teachers, comforters and creators, and every one of them about to greet a brand new day in time and space with a morning yawn, sleepy eyes, and the power to rock the world. This is the bewitching hour. Shh. And if you listen real hard, you can still hear the drums. Hosanna in the highest, the universe. P.S. Nice inverted triple axle Galactica this morning. Seems like yesterday we were still somersaulting the whole way, doesn't it?
That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nice. So when you read that, what did it make you feel? What did it make you?
I was like, I need to share this. And so I did, posted it on Facebook. And I was also like, hey, we've got our podcast today. I need to share this because with everything that's happening in the world, in the universe, in life, and I was like, that is just a beacon, a message of hope and joy and pure sunlight. So I had to share it.
Awesome. That's awesome. I love it. And then more messages were coming your way today. People were screaming at you today.
It's been a day. A hawk was screaming at me.
And it's only 9:30 your time, or 10 o'clock now.
It's 10:07. It's been a morning. So all morning, I'm hearing screeching and I'm ignoring it. Why? I'm ignoring it. Doing the things, right? Having breakfast, doing the dishes, doing some work. And finally, I was like, what the heck? And I look outside. Here's my hawk. He's appeared before, but I'm looking and he's a little different. I'm like, is that a cat? Because he was walking. I'm like, what is this? Oh, all of a sudden he outstretches his wings and he flies right in front of my window and lands on the railing to the deck, which is just like this far from me.
Mm-hmm.
And he turns, looks me dead in the eye, screeches, and flies off toward the woods. Like, what the hell was that? And so I asked my angels. I said, was this a message from my dad? Yes. Okay. And I'm like, great, I have 15 minutes. I can't go into meditation. Maybe I could have, but I was like, no. So I got out my dowsing charts and I found one that I thought, okay, this might work. Got out my pendulum and I said, okay, angels, show me the message. So show me the message my dad had for me. And the message was, be present in this moment, be present in the here and now. And I'm like, okay, I don't get it, but okay. And so I'm present in the here and now, but here's the thing. His message was, you're about to record your podcast with Stephanie, Wendy, be present in the here and now. Because I don't know about you guys, but sometimes my focus is all over the place. And so interestingly enough, what are we talking about today? Focus. Yeah.
Or lack thereof, right?
Or lack thereof.
Mm-hmm. And how to get out of the lack thereof.
How to get out of the lack thereof, the squirrel mentality,
Exactly.
have a hawk come fly at you and go and fly away.
The hawk is like, bitch, pay attention.
That was it.
Yes.
Yeah. For real. Hello.
That's hilarious. Like, that is hilarious that he's just like,
I'm like,
woman.
hello, Mr. Hawk. Okay.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So, where shall we go with this lack of focus?
Well, should we talk about that lack of focus and give some tools? Because we both have tools.
Yes,
to tune into that lack of focus. And should we talk about how or why dive into the lack of focus?
Sure.
How it shows up for us. Oh, see, I'm already, hello, I'm playing.
She's playing with her sparkly hair that she added. I just
attached this morning because why not? And it's fun, but it's pulling away my focus.
You're like a My Little Pony.
Interesting. Like a My Little Pony. They just don't have like the little, didn't they have like
little stars? Yeah. Or like whatever.
That'll be the next thing. I have a little star on my face. So when does let me ask you this, and then you can ask me the same thing. When does lack of focus show up for you? When do you notice it?
Usually it's when I notice it when I'm trying to do something and I'm just like, cannot get it done. That drives me insane because I'm like, this isn't a hard task. Why is it taking 6 hours? You know, or why, you know what? One of the biggest examples of lack of focus, and I have to get disciplined. I do often, when I notice it, I get disciplined with myself, is when I clean the house. Because I can be one of those people that you pick up the pens that are in the living room and you go to bring them to the desk to put them in where the pens live. And along the way, you also pick up a seltzer can and a t-shirt. So now you've got to put the things where they go, but then you end up in your son's room and, oh, look at the mess that needs to happen. So you start trying to organize that room. And then there's something in that room that needs to go in your room. And you haven't cleaned a goddamn thing. All you've done is move from room to room, partially fixing things, but also creating bigger messes. Because are you like me, where you're like, his desk's a mess, so therefore I'm going to organize it. And that means pulling out the drawers that have shit ton piles of stuff, and you start flipping through going, well, this can secretly go into the trash can, and this will be saved forever, or this is a very important thing that he's created. And you like organize the layers of it. And next thing you know, you've spent 2 hours sitting on the floor organizing, but really creating more chaos.
More
so
chaos,
oftentimes when I even start to feel myself doing this,
yeah,
I will stop myself and I'll be like, okay, we're gonna focus on the living room. Like, we got to get the living room done first. So like, I will leave the pens in the spot until I know I'm going towards the desk, which is right next to the closet where the vacuum is, because I eventually need to vacuum, right? So I try to like have a method to my madness that keeps me grounded. Or because I do sometimes, like, you know, you just sometimes have to get the crap out of the room, but I'll be like, nope, focus, go back to the living room. Nope, do not approach that thing that you're doing. Just go back. So yeah, that's probably honestly my biggest, like, like when I'm at my desk, when I'm doing my things, I tend to get through them, but sometimes there's the lack of focus in the sense of like, maybe it's something I don't really want to do. So therefore I start not paying attention, or I just drift off and daydream, or I start thinking about what's that program I want to develop. Like you get, because I always have a notepad next to me, so it's like, oh, I start scriggling thoughts of something else. Yeah, I definitely understand the lack of focus element.
Oh my gosh, we same way. And it sounds like what you do, excuse me, sorry about that, is you notice, oh, I'm unfocused, and then you have that self-talk, like, no,
it's all about the self-talk,
right? So I totally get that. And I also really get when I'm sitting at my desk and there's something that maybe is too, like, it's a big thing and it's overwhelming. And so I'll pick up my phone and start scrolling through Facebook.
Yes, because you're
gonna
like
check
avoidance. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, avoid. And then I'll notice that.
Yes.
And I'll be like, oh, okay, I am totally unfocused. You know what? I'm going to step away from the desk.
Yep.
I'm going to go outside, or I'm going to do dishes, or I'm going to fold something to get me out of my head, right? And then
even if it's just like a 5-minute, like, go throw the laundry in, come back up, and you can be in a better place. I definitely find that. I also lean on music. Like, if it's cleaning the house, you got to put the good fun music on, the loud music, be dancing around the house while you're doing it. Taylor Dane used to be my key.
Oh my God, Taylor Dane.
Yep.
I loved her. Oh. Gen X girls.
Right? And then, but at my desk too, like, because, you know, we all have Spotify on our computers or whatever. Okay, whatever your music choice preference is.
Music, yeah.
You know, I'll just go in and start, you know, put on, say, like, there, I actually have this playlist that's classical music for focus, for creative focus. So it's meant for like when you're doing homework or regular work or whatever.
Does it work?
It freaking works.
Really?
Yeah. For me, it does. I love it. It really helps me focus. Yeah. I
wonder if we can drop that in the show notes.
Sure.
There's a possible way, because we want to give you as many tools as we can possibly give you. Yeah, for me, same thing. Focus shows up when I'm, you know, the lack of focus shows up if I'm tired, haven't slept well, if I've had a lot of carbs, because I'm very sensitive to carbs, and that just causes me to be unfocused. And sometimes Wendy wants to go to sleep if she's had a lot of carbs. Not helpful. But you know, the other thing is, when you've got a lot going on, like taking care of a loved one, taking care of an aging parent, taking care of kids, first of all, give yourself some grace.
Hell
Give
yeah.
yourself some space
Mhm.
and take things off your plate, for God's sake.
Mhm.
Right? Because how many times do we pile on more and pile on more and pile on more?
Yeah.
And it's not helpful. I
Yeah.
had to take shit off my plate.
Mhm.
Last weekend, I kept getting a download. Wendy, you can't do it all. Wendy, you can't do all this. Wendy, you're doing too much. And I was like, yeah, I'm feeling that. And I took time this weekend and I let go of some things that are
Mhm.
going to happen later in the year.
Yeah.
Holy moly, that helped immensely. It's like this weight was lifted. So take
Yeah.
things off your plate. Give yourself some grace and space, girls.
Yeah, I think it's important to have like that is definitely important. I lately have just kind of at certain times just been like, you know what? It's okay that there's some fuzzy dust bunnies flying across the floor
That
because
is.
the dog and the cat are shedding like madmen because the minute you vacuum it up, there's more dust bunnies. Like, are you
That's it.
kidding me?
Yeah.
Or the pollen. Oh my god, when the pollen was falling like mad, I was just like, I don't even want to clean until it's done because
Until
I'm
it's done.
clean and then 2 minutes later there's going to be pollen.
Yeah.
But so I kind of went my house went through a phase where it wasn't the cleanest.
Sure, yours wasn't the only one.
Right?
Just saying.
But I said to myself, it's okay. Like we've got 110 other things that need doing. It's okay. And luckily other people do help with it. It's not like it's all on me.
Yeah.
Or if I ask, like even Gabriel, like the other day, I just was like, hey buddy, like he had knocked something over in our breezeway. And so Joe had him clean it up, and then he was like, can you vacuum up the dirt or whatever? And so he's vacuuming in the breezeway, and then like on his own accord was like, I'm gonna go to the living room and vacuum the living room for you. And I was like, yes,
Winner.
of course you can. So yeah, so that was exciting. Yeah, like knowing that other people can pick up the slack where need be.
Yeah, they sure can. Just ask.
Right. I think the other interesting thing that happens, like, not everybody has this, but developing, I think in asking, in sharing that need, that like I need assistance and letting other people in, it starts to develop this conversation that can happen. And then like last night, my significant basically was like, I try to support you as much as I can, and he was like, I think that you should step away from this one thing. And we had a big discussion about it, and he was like, I know it won't happen like today, I know it's probably going to be like at least 6 months to a year away, but I think you're very stressed out by it. It's a challenge, and it's affecting the family. It's affecting, all the things. And if you took your energy, took that off your plate in order to be able to put more focus in the other places, not just the family, but like the spa and whatnot.
Sure.
I found that to be a huge thing because one, it was a hard conversation for him to start because he probably thought I was going to get prickly.
Did you get prickly?
I didn't.
You did not.
I did not. I may have almost cried, but I did not get prickly, and I actually didn't actually cry. Because, and in all honesty, the tear was more of that he took the time to say what was on his mind,
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that shows a level of maturity within our relationship that had not necessarily been spoken before. So
yeah,
I like that.
It sounds like he saw you.
Yeah.
And he loves you enough to say, I see this and I see how it's impacting you.
Yeah.
And I see that you're trying so hard.
And he he sees and feels and knows probably the stubborn streak that's like, no, I have to keep doing this,
Right.
So
it
definitely it's some food for thought, and I have to seriously take into consideration what was proposed. So yeah, but
that's beautiful though.
But I think that's important, like to allow for those relationships to happen and allow for the people around you who can support you in different ways to know that it's okay to share, to
receive it.
Yeah.
To allow yourself to receive it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a big one. And you receive that message, and now you're taking it and you're considering it and you're processing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 It's pretty exciting, actually.
That's beautiful. That's another beautiful tool is, when someone has something to say to you and they're coming from a place of love, be present as much as you possibly can. Listen to what they have to say. Receive it.
Yep.
You don't have to, have an answer right away. Just, okay. Thank you. I've received it. And really, that's the first step in processing and making change. And who knows where
exactly.
Right? Oh my gosh, Stephanie. That's beautiful.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I did not expect to, but
the things that just someone said this to me yesterday. They love podcasts because of the authenticity and the realness and the transparency. So
100%.
You're welcome. And thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so with lack of focus when we're in those moments. Yeah, I think there is that paying attention, self-talk. There's the asking for help. Personally, for me, as you should all know by now, I have a diffuser in every single room of my house, and I change the blends based on what needs to happen in there. So during the day, oftentimes, like in the living room or in this room where I am, it tends to be like a motivational oil, something like that's going to be uplifting and but also helps focus. So one of my favorite blends for that is peppermint, like a drop of peppermint, and then a citrus. So whatever citrus you like the most. I tend to like lemon or orange, and then rosemary, because rosemary really
together.
Yep, all three of these in a diffuser.
Ooh.
Going really helps with focus, really helps. So the citrus is uplifting as well, but also puts you in a good positive mood.
Right.
And but also, like, the citrus and the peppermint help you be alert.
I was going to say peppermint is like energizing, right?
Energizing and alert. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the rosemary really helps with our brain and with focus and all of that. So I love to diffuse that in this main living room where our desk is. And then I also make that into my kitchen soap because it smells amazing and it's very cleansing and cleaning, and it, like, then you smell your hands and you're like, yay.
But that blend helps focus. Well, there you go. There's another tool for your toolbox, right there.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you just love peppermint, if you just love a citrus, but the rosemary particularly helps with our brain focus. So it's really good for if you're doing homework, if you're doing regular work. But I like it all the time because I think rosemary is awesome. That's
beautiful. And be sure to, like, you're going to edit all this up, but make sure you have your link because, guys, Stephanie is the professional here with essential oils. And so get with her if you're like, hey, do you have a blend for this? Do you have a blend for that? What do I do with this? She's your gal for sure. So she's making a note. I love that. I had to mute myself when you were talking because a train, I swear it's consistent, came through, blared its horn. I'm like, well, that's going to pull the focus. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, there may be a dog barking at times, around here.
Hashtag real life.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, hey, I have to ask you a question. How many beverages do you have at the moment?
I'm lacking. I actually almost commented on that earlier. I've only got a half of this, and I am I'm gonna be like halfway through this. Yeah.
Okay, because Steph usually has 3.
Yeah, 2, 3. You never know. It all depends.
Well, depends might play a part in it.
No. Oh my God. I have this new theory because everybody wants to drink their, tons of water because it's good for you and, flushes your body and all the things. But then you have to go to the bathroom all night.
Yeah. Yes.
And I've concluded it doesn't matter because I was on the phone with somebody the other day and they're like, I haven't figured out what time I should stop drinking my water, but I feel like I drink till too late. And I'm like, you can never stop. Like, you can't really be like, I can't have any more water. It's 8 p.m. I cannot have any more water. Like, no, that's not how this works. Your body will drink water because it needs it, because you're thirsty. And you just have to deal with the factor that your body has to get up and go to the potty. Because
3 times a night?
I mean, but so how weird is it, though, that you drink water all day long? Yeah. How often do you go to the bathroom during the day? Oh. I only go like morning and evening. I don't go 3 times. Well, sometimes I do, but my body seriously holds on to it. Maybe 3 times.
Well, I wish I had that magic because no, 3 times a night. Here's a fun fact. Back in the day, I worked as I think I was a secretary, I don't know, for some factory. And one of the owners came in and he was concerned about water usage. So
people were going to the bathroom?
Yeah. He wanted all of the employees to mark down how many times they used the bathroom.
Couldn't be the people standing around the bubbler talking gossip.
I quit soon after. I was like, you know what?
Yeah, there's a problem there.
Habits are none of your business.
None of your beeswax.
Anyway, that was a horrible job. Anyhow, where were we?
Shake it off. Shake off a bad job. We've all had them.
We have all had them, for sure. But man, that just came up when we're talking about drinking and going to the bathroom how many times during the day. It's none of
crazy. It's none of your business. But yeah, just think about it, people. I think your body strangely holds on to the water until it's bedtime. And then it's like, oh, let's get up and go to the bathroom at least once. Possibly twice. Possibly 3 times.
Oh. And then remember when you were a kid? We didn't have these freaking water bottles. I don't think we drank water except for out of the hose in the summer. Right? We were drinking Kool-Aid. We were drinking Tang, soda. I think water might have crossed our lips in the summer drinking out of the hose.
It wasn't none of that. Well, we got Tang when my dad was doing my dad was in the National Guard, so when it was National Guard weekend, he had he had a hidden thing of Tang that he would take with him to National Guard weekend. And so occasionally we would sneak a little Tang, but that was the only way we got Tang was from Dad's National Guard kit.
I never cared for it.
Yeah, I think I probably liked it because it was like the weird thing I got to have secretly.
Okay. Yeah.
Kool-Aid I only got at my friend's house. My mom was like a weird hippie person who didn't look like a hippie at all. She idolized Jackie Kennedy and dressed really well and looked beautiful. And yeah, Jackie and Audrey Hepburn were her people.
Oh yeah.
And she always looks svelte and beautiful and put together. And Always. Like, even on a bad day, she's still like always.
She's one of those women.
She is. Like, she could be wearing yoga pants and a t-shirt and you're like, you look so
She's
great.
one of those.
Yeah.
Good for your mom.
I know, lucky lady.
You know?
I'm her hippie kid who's just like wild curls everywhere and just whatever.
My mom's gonna freak the fuck out when she sees this, but it'll be fun.
But it was funny. Recently, a couple of years ago, I was working on starting a book about the natural skincare and realizing that my not hippie mom was actually quite a hippie. And, didn't allow the sugary drinks, didn't allow the crap food. Oh my God. She used to, I'm freaking serious. She would put wheat germ on our Wheaties to make them healthier. We all hated our Wheaties. We're like, do we really need wheat germ on it? She'd sprinkle wheat germ on our Cheerios. Like,
is that still even a thing?
It is still a thing. I just throw it in smoothies, but yeah, it's still a thing. Yeah.
Interesting. I had to eat, you know what carob is?
Yeah. Oh God, that stuff's evil.
That was horrible.
At least that's one thing. My mother believes in real chocolate.
My mother did not believe in real chocolate. That's why I got carob.
Yep. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah.
Oh.
So we drank water and iced tea and lemonade. Those were like our beverages.
I think we had lemonade too. Maybe iced tea. Oh, yeah. Sun tea. That was a big thing.
Sun tea.
Making sun tea.
I still do it all the time. Yep.
I need to make some sun tea. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I want to kind of go off of, you mentioned your dad with the Tang, and that got me thinking when he went on, what'd you say? Not
National Guard.
National Guard. Okay. So I'm going here, that quote that I shared with you earlier before the call. Mm-hmm. So there's a quote that I've heard many, many times, but I didn't know the last part of it. One of my mentor coaches, I've heard this from her ad nauseum. Slow is steady, steady is smooth, smooth is fast. And I Googled that yesterday because I'm like, I think I'm remembering that correctly, but I don't know. There was a last sentence to that I didn't know, that I've never heard her say.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe I just never heard her say it.
Mm.
So the last sentence, fast is deadly.
Mm.
Slow is steady. Steady is smooth. Smooth is fast. Fast is deadly.
Mm-hmm.
This was a quote. This was from like the Navy SEALs.
Mm-hmm.
So for sure, for them, fast is deadly. Like you want to take your time. You want to scope everything out.
You got to check your things.
You got to check your things. And isn't it the same for us? And I'll relate this to caregiving.
Yeah.
If you're going too fast, you're not noticing what might be going wrong with you. And here's why I say that. My dad passed away when I was 6 because he was not taking care of himself when he was taking care of my grandmother.
Yep.
He was actually quite sick. He was taking her prescription pain medication because he was in pain. He go to the doctor. She passed. He went to the doctor. Stage 4 colon cancer. No joke.
Well, and also how many people are going so fast. So say, like, as a mom, like if you're going so fast and you're not paying attention to your child and what's happening, or even your mom or dad that you may be caring for, but like there could be something going on, say, in your child's life, but you're so busy going from work to taking care of mom to then going to the grocery store and then doing the things and making dinner and that something is happening and you're not even awake enough to actually deal with it, you know?
Right. And you don't have a hawk coming at you screaming.
Yeah. And there's no
Or maybe you
screaming.
do and you don't notice it.
And you're just ignoring it like Wendy was.
It's screeching. What is going on out there? Oh, hello. Yeah. So going back to focusing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Giving yourself that grace, giving yourself that space. Like Steph, noticing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big thing. Noticing, calling it out, and then going, okay, that mindset talk, that shift.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, no, stay focused on this. Or I feel all discombobulated. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to take my shoes and socks off, and I'm just going to stand in the grass and ground myself because my God, I need that.
Yeah, I think it's interesting how many people are not in tune with their body.
Yeah.
And to me, that's like such a foreign thought. But
to not be in tune with your body.
To not be in tune with your body. But there are so many people who are not. And that's probably the biggest thing I can encourage people to do is like listen to your body. Like your dad, he should have listened to his body. Instead, he popped a pill to hide.
Popped a pill, keep going. Got to do all the things. No, you don't got to do all the things. The only thing you got to do is take care of yourself. Yeah. You are just as important as the person you're taking care of.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Right? Yep. Yeah. And even, actually another funny story. The other day we were driving up to Maine and my son was like, can I be DJ in the car? And I was listening to like mellow music because my brain hurt. And I said, I was like, my head hurts, buddy. That's why I'm listening to this mellow music. I'm sorry if it's boring, but this is what we're doing right now. And he goes, oh, mommy, I can help. And I was like, oh, can you? And he's like, yes. So first, I would like you to take 5 deep breaths. He's like, come on, do it with me. So we did our 5 deep breaths. And he goes, how do you feel now, Mom? I was just like, yeah.
You have done your job, Mom.
Exactly. I was like, I did it. I've taught him the things.
I mean,
given him some tools so that he can then help others. Like, how cool is that?
And he's gonna be the change in the world.
Yeah. So, yeah, I love that. Like, but yeah, you have to be in tune with yourself in order to give yourself those deep breaths or to go outside and ground.
It's hard sometimes. It's hard to be like, because it's how easy is it to ignore, ooh, that was a weird twang. And you just keep going.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, there it is again. It's probably just, right? Notice it. Get curious. Call the people. Call the doctor. Whoever
Call the doctor. Yeah, because the other thing is you think that you're invincible, whatever, but also
we think we're bulletproof.
We think we're not. It's not going to happen. The thing is not going to happen, but the thing happens. And there are other people who rely on you, or there are other people that valued you, and then they don't have you. So.
Friend of mine went to high school with. She was taking care of her mom. Two young boys, married, full-time job, right? Doing all the things. And she had a stroke. I think she was 37, 38, something like that. She's lost the right side of her body. She can't.
Yeah, I have a friend
Not to scare you, but shit happens.
Yeah.
You've got a friend?
I've got a friend who had a stroke way too early. Luckily, hers was very small. So she hasn't had any like physical symptoms that you see immediately, but like, they're very concerned about like her heart and like her ability to do certain things and whatever. And so like she just has a lot of health issues now that she's dealing with that are slowing her down and holding her back from certain things. And I know it's super frustrating for her, but at the same time, she was burning the candle at both ends. I had been telling her for like a year and a half, like, I don't know how you do this. You got to slow down, And
I know you didn't necessarily want to talk about this martyr syndrome, but this is it. When someone is saying to you, I'm worried about you. You look stressed. You look overwhelmed. You've right. You might be in that martyr syndrome, which is, I've got it. I'm fine.
Nobody else can do it.
Nobody else can do it, right?
Mhm.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Just saying.
What else do you want to talk about? Because I got one more thing on my list, and I'm noticing our time.
Go for it. What's the last thing on your list?
The roller coaster.
Oh,
I hate roller coasters, just saying. I'm not a fan. And they can be fun, right? You've got the highs, you've got the lows. And when you are sandwich generation, let's just say that, you got a lot of highs, you got a lot of lows on that roller coaster. And a lot of them, it's emotional.
Mm-hmm.
You've got fear, you've got joy, you've got celebration, you've got, oh my God, what just happened? What am I going to do now? You've got fear, overwhelm, grief, anticipatory grief, which is, another function. Like, when you've got an aging parent that's starting to decline, that happens, that anticipatory grief. And anxiety,
nervousness.
What is this going to look like? How am I going to do all the things? How am I going to be there for my mom? Did I say all the things? Did we do all the things? Right? And you've got all those emotions. And one tool to have in your toolbox, like what we talked about before. Well, notice it.
Yeah.
Notice that, I am for sure riding this freaking roller coaster, and I would just like it to stop for a little bit. So notice that. Go, okay. And then whatever you're feeling, feel it.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's not bad. It's just a feeling. Feel it.
100%.
Journal it.
Mm-hmm.
Get it out of your head. Get it out of your heart. Talk to a friend. Talk to a friend that gets it.
Mm-hmm.
Find a community. I have one. Loving yourself while taking care of others.
Yeah.
Put that in the show notes. Like, join us.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my take on the roller coaster.
Yeah, I agree. With the roller coaster, I mean, there is always that swirl of emotions that are happening. And
always.
I mean, some would call it life, but I think that there is ways to manage that swirl so that you can find the balance and experience the experiences without spinning out of control. You do have to go through some of those emotions. You can't pretend like you don't have grief. You can't pretend like everything's okay. If you do, you're gonna explode. But if you slow yourself down, ground, surround yourself with people that you can talk to that will help you work through those things. Practice gratitude. I'm sorry. When you can find gratitude in the little things,
yes,
it makes it so much easier to see the good instead of the bad.
Yeah.
And that's what's important. Yeah. Your outlook
energy changes.
Because if you're just deep in the dark, in the muck, it's like quicksand. It wants to pull you deeper and darker into the deep.
What you focus on grows.
Mm-hmm. And if you can find the little things and the little gratitudes, then you end up looking at every situation with a different outlook. I think it's like a funny story, and I can't remember if I've told it before, but like when my grandmother died, my father's mother, I was in high school, and maybe 8th grade, I don't know, but we all had to go out to Minneapolis, do a funeral there. Then we had to go to Chicago, do a funeral there. And she was buried in Chicago. Yeah, because they were originally from Chicago. So she and my grandfather's plots are in Chicago. And so by the time we were done with the funeral, with the wake in Chicago, we were all slap happy and ridiculous. And one thing that, like, so for some reason, the Uncle Remus stories are just super deep in my family. Like, that they were stories that were always passed down and told, and whatever. And so near the end of the funeral, I think one of my uncles just started singing Zippity Doo Dah. And we all joined in, and we're like, zippity doo dah, zippity yay, my oh my, what a wonderful day. And like, the people who did not know us and did not know this inside loop were just like, it's a funeral, it's a wake. Why are you singing zippity doo dah? Like, but to us, it was like, it was more than that. Like, it was, it wasn't just like, oh, we're done. It was, this is something that
release almost.
We found joy in, and celebrated something that we remembered enjoying with her. You know what I mean? So, it was just really funny. And it's one of those things I still clearly laugh about it. And that was 30 something years ago.
That is a good story. That is a good story. And so when you're feeling all the feels, just start humming. Or sing it. Whatever. Yeah.
I can't believe I just sang it.
Right? It makes you smile. Zippity doo.
It does. Oh my God. But yeah, there's definitely ways.
There are definitely ways. Oh, sorry. I totally interrupted because
go for it, dude.
You go.
No, I was just rambling. So go ahead.
You weren't rambling. I think you were hooking up to something.
No, I really wasn't.
Okay.
I was tying things up, so it's okay.
That's what I meant. You were tying things up, so tie it up.
Oh, no. What were you going to ask?
I was going to say, this seems like a good point to wrap it up with the zippity doo dah. We're adorable, aren't we?
Oh, I hope you guys don't hate us. Our episode on Focus has been very like...
Squirrel. You know what? That just goes to show we do the best we can.
Yes. Once again, taking that moment, having a laugh, and resetting, right?
And reset. That's it. Have a laugh, reset, refocus. We hope we've given you some smiles and laughter today.
Yes. Yeah, and you kindly commented that I am the essential oil educator here. I do educate on oils, and I try to help guide people along that lines. But also both of us, and we don't talk enough about it, so I want to take a moment to just kind of share that what we really do, and that I help coach people or consult with people to guide them through wellness from the inside out. My particular focus is skincare, but that means talking about sleep and stress and diet and environmental things that are around us, all the things. So if you want age gracefully, you've got to consider these things. So managing our stress, managing our focus has more, it's not just keeping our mind healthy, but our mind is so super important.
Right.
It keeps our whole body healthy, and that's the mindset that I like to bring people and help them with. Wendy is a fantastic coach. I have worked with her on a few things, and I'm going to let you talk about what you do, because I think, again, we have to share what we do, so that if people want to reach out and get a little guidance on a deeper level, they know who to reach for certain reasons. Or, we do collaborate a lot too. So
we do collaborate a lot. And so what I do is I'm a life coach for Gen X sandwich generation women that feel like they are pulled in many different directions and they don't want to hit rock bottom and suffer and be totally overwhelmed and not present. And so through my coaching and my programs, I help them to take care of themselves so that they can take care of others much more easily.
Yeah. And she's pretty awesome.
Well, thank you. Likewise.
Yeah. All right. So I hope that we've helped you. I hope you found some nuggets of value and some good laughs, even if it was just at me singing a song horribly. But, you know.
If it was at our expense, you're welcome. All good.
Have a wonderful day.
See you next time.
See you next time.